Ladies and gentlemen, you may be familiar with my videos addressing crimes in TV shows, and if you liked them, then you're in for a treat. Today's video is about A Night of Fright is No Delight, which IMDb lists as, you like that? That was fun, right? IMDb lists it as the top-rated Scooby-Doo episode. Now, the premise is simple. Scooby-Doo is listed as a beneficiary in a will and has to travel to the estate for the reading of the will, which is a bit of an overstatement. You'll see why. But before I get ahead of myself, we need to establish where this is taking place to address the relevant laws. The gang is from Coolsville, Ohio, and the Scooby-Doo / Supernatural crossover, which is amazing by the way, places the mansion within driving distance of the malt shop, which is a hangout location for the gang. One can assume a common hangout location is one that is near where the gang lives, so it seems reasonable to place the mansion in Ohio. This episode aired in 1970, but for the sake of simplicity, we're going to be using modern laws. Let's get into it.
It's a creepy enough place to read a will.
Like you would have to inherit a fortune, Scoob.
As you all know, I am Cosgood Creeps, attorney of the late Colonel Sanders. Colonel Sanders was a bit hard, and his only instructions were to play this record for you.
Cousin Simple, Nephew Normal, Sweet Cousin Maldehyde, Cousin Slicker, and my old friend Scooby-Doo.
I know that smile isn't illegal, but it should be.
You're all going to receive an equal share of the $1 million, providing you spend tonight here in the old family mansion.
That's what's known as a condition precedent, meaning someone must meet a specific condition to receive money or property from an estate. However, one might assume that because this is an episode of Scooby-Doo, fulfilling the condition will place the gang in danger, and the gang is not aware of this, which might open avenues for the gang to file a lawsuit against the estate for negligence.
The house is haunted.
Spend the night in a haunted house for $1 million? That can't be legal.
I got this, Sam, but thanks. Aha, you might say. But Blue, they were told the house was haunted. Surely staying implies consent to the dangers they might face. Okay, an interesting point, but I would argue no. The dangers are never explicitly addressed, and as far as the gang knows, there are no such thing as ghosts. Additionally, even if the gang left before the required time, they might be able to argue in court that the requirement to place themselves at risk of bodily harm is contrary to public policy, and therefore the money should be paid to them whether or not they meet the stated condition. Do I know for a fact that this is how it works? No, not for a fact. I think I'm pretty close. But if you were watching this video and saying, "Ooh, well, I have been thinking about rewriting my will, and the information I'm getting from this video that has to do with Scooby-Doo is great advice." No, stop it. It's not what the point is. No, don't. It's not advice. It's general knowledge that may not even be correct. Talk to a real attorney, one that specializes in estate law, please. Thank you. Okay. Moving on. I think that's kidnapping. He was removed from a place by force, and it appears the intent was to terrorize him, so the elements are met. It's tempting to say that Scooby is committing criminal damage to the property, but technically it would be the ghost that would be charged with that crime, since they were the one that caused Scooby-Doo to have a reasonable reaction to a threat. Plus, for the property owner to press charges, they'd have to reveal that the bathtub had that fancy little contraption to dump people into this room, and that wouldn't be a good look since, you know, kidnapping. I don't know what the local ordinances are in this area, but that might be a noise violation. Except they live on an island, so probably not. Tell you what, if you're in a mansion that's not on an island, and you're like, I want to do some spooky ghost stuff really loudly, consider your neighbors and consider the fact that there may be a noise ordinance that prohibits you from doing that after certain hours. Don't know what the hours are here, probably doesn't matter at all, but these ghosts are committing felonies, so I don't think this is really on the top of their, oh goodness, are we breaking that crime list? Ooh, now we're getting into menacing by stalking. This ghost is engaging in a pattern of conduct that is likely to cause mental distress or place people in reasonable fear of physical harm.
Poor Cousin Simple. All that's left of him is his nightcap.
Possibly kidnapping again, but that depends on whether Simple fled, which would probably still fall under menacing by stalking, or if Simple is being restrained by the ghost, which would be kidnapping and unlawful restraint. Either way, not great.
The first is gone, the rest will go, unless you leave the island and row, row, row.
I'm not super knowledgeable about civil law, but I'm pretty sure there would be some legal concerns about fraud and deception.
I think we better return to our rooms and lock our doors.
He's too smug about this. I think he's in on it. Oh, that looks like assault.
I told you I'd save you.
The condition of the $1 million was that the beneficiaries had to spend the night in the mansion. But does this count as in the mansion? Does spending the night mean that you can't leave it at any point? Like, what if I need a cigarette break? Don't smoke, kids. It's bad for you. But what if I need one? I'm like, I'm going to step outside and smoke a cigarette. Are you out? Did you just forfeit $1 million or a portion of it for a cigarette? I got a lot of questions here. And ambiguous conditions are hard to enforce in this sort of thing. Not that it would be enforced anyway.
They're all gone.
Cousin Simple, Cousin Slicker, Nephew Normal.
Sweet cousin Maldehyde.
That's a lot of kidnapping.
I think we better, watch the walls.
Why?
'Cause they're closing in on us.
That feels like a booby trap. And because this isn't happening in self-defense, civil action can be taken against the person who set it up.
The door's locked.
That locked door might make this unlawful restraint.
Look! Secret stairs in the floor.
Come on, let's see where they go.
Look at that! They broke Fred's face! Add that to the list of damage to the civil suit. My God.
Look how they massacred my boy.
Look!
Coffins!
Hooray! Evidence of premeditation.
And the empty one's dog-shaped.
Why would you need to make the coffin dog-shaped? That's so much extra work. You could have just had a smaller coffin shaped like the rest of them. No one's going, oh yeah, we left the toddler down the stairs. That must be what it's for. Not the dog. Not the dog in the dog-sized coffin. No, the coffin has to be dog-shaped. Because that makes, you know what? It's fine. That's not what this video is about. We're gonna keep going. Remember earlier when I was talking about menacing by stalking? Well, there's the evidence of mental distress. I'm guessing that wouldn't be animal abuse due to a lack of intent, but it might fall under a negligence tort.
Will you wake up for a Scooby snack? Here, Scoob, hurry!
This is going to be important in a bit. Hold on. Okay, so holding Scooby-Doo by the tail like that would be cruelty to animals, but Shaggy might have a valid defense if he can argue that he didn't have time to move Scooby out of harm's way through an alternative carrying method. But given how long he spent feeding him a Scooby snack, I doubt he'd be successful.
He'll never find us up here.
I bet he will if you don't shut up. Shocking. Also, that's assault again.
Don't fire till you see the green of his eyes.
Right?
But his eyes are red.
Fire! Yippee! Hooray!
Not assault, it was done in self-defense. Ohio doesn't have a duty to retreat, so I'm going to allow this under the circumstances.
We use a fan, some soap suds on the floor, a spring-loaded ironing board, and a washing machine.
And when those ghosts come through the door, we're going to take them to the cleaners.
Yes, this is the punt police. You're under arrest. Ah, nuts. I'm going to allow this only because it can be argued their lives are in danger. Why don't they just leave? Because people are being held captive and they want to rescue them, or maybe something. Why not call the police with the working telephone that we know is in the building? Well, they should, but this is on an island and it would take some time to get police there. I don't think a prosecutor is going to look too hard at this, but there may be some civil options for the ghost to take, except the gang can countersue and get a lot more money out of it.
A flying washing machine!
That fan is breaking the laws of physics, so I'm adding it to the list.
Got him! Looks like these ghosts are all washed up.
That That looks dangerously like felonious assault, and since they were chasing the ghosts, it might be hard to argue self-defense. Well, maybe not. It's not unreasonable to believe that if the ghosts weren't stopped, they would continue to place others in danger. Also, if the gang didn't do this, then they'd continue to be in danger, but they could leave. But Ohio doesn't have a duty to retreat. Yeah, I'll allow it, I will allow it, but I'm not happy about it.
Well, there they are, Sheriff. Mr. Creeps and his partner, Mr. Crawls.
They were trying to scare all the heirs off the island.
Huh, smug guy didn't do it. But now we get to charge the lawyers here with undue influence and conspiracy.
Cousins were scared away fast. Then they put dummies that looked just like them in the coffins.
The kidnapping charges where the other heirs were the victims wouldn't apply, as it appears they went missing not because they were held captive, but because they fled the area.
It all belongs to you now, Scooby. $1 million.
Huh? Oh, no! Wouldn't you know it? All in Confederate money.
How do you like that? We spend a night of fright for some worthless money in a haunted house that wasn't even haunted.
That feels a little bit like fraud again. A reasonable person would have believed that the money was valid currency based on the recording they were played, and they may not have stayed in the house if they had known it was Confederate money. So, add that to the lawsuit. Also, that bill may not be legal tender, but as a collector's item, it's worth more than its printed value. So I'm not really sure why they're complaining. Oh, please tell me they took the money. They didn't, did they? Because they're still doing their mysteries after this episode, which tells me that either they really love what they do, or they just didn't take the money because they're dumb. I don't think they took the money because they're still using that van. I feel like they could have upgraded into something much, much better. I'm just spiraling out of control. Also, the ghosts were the lawyers. Would it not have been a lot easier for them to have just rewritten the will? But I'm not here to tell you how to commit crimes. I'm just here to analyze them. And that's all I have for you today. So if you like this video, hit that like button. If you do that, I'll know you want me to make more of these. If you don't want that, hit the dislike button because, oh, how dare Blue Bacon make content. It's fine. Subscribe for more nonsense like this. Check out my description for links to my Etsy and Patreon. And until the next time, be good, stay safe.